The last episode ended with us in Annapolis, leaving the boat up for sale. Well, it's sold, and the next chapter in our adventure started to unfold. Getting Christina Pearl ready for the Brazil and beyond trip, and the trip itself, has taken the best part of 2 years out of our lives. When we got back to our house in Portugal, we had a lot of work to catch up with. With the uncertain future of the dreaded Brexit, our plans for developing the site into a small holiday complex were put on hold. However, there was a lot of work we could get finished in the garden and the workshop. We also wanted to build a small pool so we could cool off in the incredibly hot Algarvian summers. This was difficult in several ways. It had to be an out-of-the-ground pool and could not be very big. Plus our ground is all rock and we did not want to take the time or the expense to dig this out. Our land has quite a slope, but we could use this to our advantage and extend the house deck out to the pool. Alex had a few orders as well. Seats and an infinity side so we could sit in the pool drinking G&Ts overlooking the countryside. It was now time to look for a motorhome. We had considered converting a van. This was soon ruled out by the complexity of making it legal in Portugal and the time required to do the conversion. We did not want to buy a new motorhome. Something from 2010 to 2012 vintage would be a good starting point. We knew anything to do with vehicles was going to be expensive in Portugal, so we looked at importing one from either the UK or Germany. We knew a UK vehicle would need work to make it comply with the regulations and would have to be left-hand drive, but such things do exist in the UK. The problem with this idea of getting a vehicle from outside Portugal meant we'd have to go through the lengthy and very expensive registration procedure here. Basically, this would double the cost of the vehicle. So we were fast coming to the conclusion that the only real option was to find a second-hand motorhome already in Portugal. All the importation charges were purely a guess. We started the search with the computer, of course. The result showed that any dealer in the south of Portugal was basically a motorhome hire company. We did look at a couple of ex-hire examples, but soon decided this was just going to be a non-starter. So, back to the computer, and we started to look at dealers in the north. We found a couple that looked like they suited our bill a little bit. We rang up one of them and told him that we were very interested in a motorhome and headed off up to have a look. 1 hour into the trip, we got a phone call from the dealer to say he'd just sold the unit that we were going up to see. As we'd not been able to contact the other dealer that day and confirm that he still had a vehicle, there was nothing else in that area either, so we just decided to turn round. So we went back to the house and continued to search the internet, but there was just nothing coming up. Then we went down to Lagos one day to see a couple of friends, and on the way we spotted a rather nice looking motorhome on the forecourt of a motor dealer. And as we went past, I said to Alex, well, we're going to stop on the way back and have a look at that. When we got back there and drove onto the forecourt, we could see it was almost new, as registration plates in Portugal show the date of the first registration. Alex said, it's too new. I said, well, let's take a look anyway. Well, it had all the bits we said we would have on our tick box. It was under 7 metres long. That's quite important in Europe. It had fly screens on all the windows and more important on the door. Most of all, it had a fixed island bed. This was something we'd only just really started to discuss a few days before, but we're thinking we would have to rule it out because basically it was a new concept and it was only going to be fitted on fairly new motorhomes. We did realise that our boat had a walk-round bed in the aft cabin, and this had always been a really great idea as there was no climbing over each other and the making of the bed was simple and straightforward. If you've ever tried fighting with bedding in a forepeak of a boat, you'll know what I mean. Well, yeah, it was a lot more money than we really wanted to spend. It was also much newer than we'd set out to look for. The plus side was it'd been hardly used, and you know, it had 26,000 kilometres on the clock from new. It was 2 and a bit years old. In a previous life, I'd been involved in the motorhome business quite a lot, and I knew the maker of this motorhome had a really good reputation for its products. It wasn't a make that we'd really set out to look into. Everything looked right about it. We actually really liked the layout inside, and it was clean and it was tidy and nothing was hanging off it. After much deliberation, the deal was done and we had Bertie. Oh, fantastic, we thought. Try pushing the record button. I'm sure it makes a big difference when you use these things. Okay, so it's going to be a lovely sunny morning, and here we are in Portugal, and it's quite an exciting day for us because we're hopefully in a few minutes time we're about to head off and pick up the new motorhome. Yeah, wow. Before you're full up, say hello to everyone.
Hello everyone, exciting day. Steve's got the jitters.
Steve's got a new toy coming.
Yeah, big new toy.
We're actually getting a lift down to pick up the motorhome with some friends, and
we got too much stuff.
We got too much stuff.
This week.
Oh, I like that one there.
I see that, yeah. Oh, look at this.
How's it going now?
Well, the bag that we brought the duvet in has made little bits everywhere. It's falling to bits, but apart from that, it's good. We've made the bed, and I've put Squeaker's blanket on so she can feel at home.
She's having a good look round.
Have we got a new house, Squeak?
Just our luck, 2 weeks after collecting Bertie, we went into lockdown. Quick stop on the road up to Monsig, and we left a little campsite this morning just in Silves, and gradually climbing our way up, and we've stopped at a little viewpoint just to take some photographs and get some footage. And as you can see over my shoulder, it's absolutely stunning behind us. Quite an interesting little drive. And this is where we're heading, carrying on round up the hill, and apparently there's a bit of a park area just up the top there underneath those antennas.
So I think we're in Foya, which is the mountain top just behind Monsig. And we're near all the radio aerials and everything, and we have a 360-degree view from here. Why do people do that? Leave their track. They don't make these for little leg people. We're gonna head to that big rock over there and see the west coast. That way.
Yeah.
Chapel to I'm not sure. I think Santa Caterina, but I can't swear to that quote. Where are we going, Steve?
Well, it's a bit of a mystery tour, I think. We're going to follow the sat-nav and see whether it can get us to Alfres.
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 Alfres. There's no T at the end.
Alfres. There you go. Talking Portuguese. Right.
But it's going to be a tricky trip because there's no signal.
Yeah, no signal up here. Something to do with all of the... Try and get it in reverse gear. It's difficult. It's sticky to get up. Let this car go. Come on, I'm a motorhome. I can do what I like.
Anyway, we're disguised as Portuguese. We can do what we like.
Yeah, gets a lot of people because they think we're Portuguese because of the Portuguese plate, obviously. Oh, you're English? Yeah. Right, this is part of Portugal that nearly 2 years ago now, summer before last, had terrible, terrible wildfires, and many thousands of acres of natural forest land were destroyed. But we're actually very surprised as we're going round how well it seems to have recovered.
One of the things we come up here specifically to check out was how well it was doing or how black it might still be. And although there's still a lot of very black tree trunks, all the grass has come up in between and the bushes are growing back over the, and nature is really doing its stuff with them. Are we on the right road?
I was just going to say, did we come this way?
No, you've just gone to somebody's house. I hope we're going to find a place where you can turn around.
No, this is the road. Okay, let's check the sat-nav while we've got a place to turn around.
This is absolutely not the way we came. We are definitely on a magical little mystery tour. We like circular routes, so just watch what you wish for.
Well, stunningly beautiful.
It is absolutely gorgeous. And fortunately, because this is off the beaten path, we have the road to ourselves, so it might be little, it might be windy, it might be a bit lumpy in places, but we have it all to ourselves, so. And I think the road is even a bit more hairpinny than the one we took coming up.
I like this, we're using the hill descent on the motorhome here. So, lots of engine braking.
Look at this for the countryside. Fab.
Turn right, then turn right.
Oh, there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I thought she was taking us down a little tiny country lane dirt track unmade road, but
Turn right.
Somebody's drive.
Continue for 1
and there,
kilometer.
just coming into flower, only just barely, is a Madrid madroño tree, strawberry tree, which is what this area is famous for, and not so much, well, not so much the trees, well, obviously the trees are necessary, but what comes from this area is madroño, the alcohol, which is like the famous Portuguese firewater.
Supposed to be a really good bistro bar here. So it's right here.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, motorhome dump point to the right. Good job, really.
Turn left onto Urbanização da Ilha da Lagoon, then turn right onto Rua de São Romão.
That rings a bell. Though he says go left and then
Yeah, that's right.
really?
Well, it tells you to go down here. Yeah, that's right. That's right at the end.
Turn right onto Rua de São Romão, then you will arrive at your destination.
Says,
No entry that way for caravans.
yeah, but it said to go that way anyway.
Yeah.
And there is a few over there. Oh, you can see in the corner.
You've arrived.
Just got to find a parking spot there.
Yeah, and it could be tricky.
Looks like there's a spot down there. And normally in these places you'll find a dump station and freshwater station. Sometimes you'll even find electric hookups, and they're generally built like this. There's a drain so you can drain the tank, the grey water tank, and there's also a place to empty the loo. And normally they're either free or sometimes you have to get a token from the local shop and stick it in, and the whole thing works for you. And this particular one actually looks like it's free. So here with this, this is a really well equipped area, and you can see even the little wash house that they've built, which is very much along the lines of the old Portuguese wash houses. And you can see, yeah, it might have actually been the old one, and they've just done it all up. And of course, all the motorhome owners are very much grateful of the facility. There you go. You want to get yourself a house, there's a nice little doer-upper there. Don't know how much it would go for here. Quite a lot of money, I should imagine. Not sure what Ali's found, but she suddenly shouted out, "Oh, look at that!" I think I can see it now. It's a beautiful Portuguese tile work. And these tiling scenes, you'll find them all over Portugal, and they generally depict the agriculture and the lifestyle of days gone by. Well, I don't know whether this is a municipal swimming pool. It must be. Obviously, oh yes, somebody did mention that they had a pool here on the reviews, but said at the moment it was obviously not open and the water's a bit green. And yeah, you can see that the water does look green, but you don't, on a pool you don't have to worry too much about that. You put a few chemicals in there and set the pump running for a couple of days and that'll be crystal clear. But what a lovely pool.
I like the little bridge.
I was worrying about you saying that.
Yeah, can we have one of those?
Yeah. One time you used to find these in all the villages in Portugal. In fact, we have one, not as pretty as this, I've got to say, at the entrance to our property. So this house looks very nice, very posh, just been repainted. But just look a little bit closer and you can see on the wall there signs of the fire, where obviously there was some sort of cover over the entranceway there. probably some sort of plastic roofing, caught fire, and it's draped down the wall there, and that bit they haven't repainted yet, so you can see all the burn marks and scorch marks. More evidence of the trees that obviously got burnt. But even so, a couple of short years later, and the beauty of nature starts to shine through. In the background we can see more of the evidence of the fire. Well, it's late morning on Sunday, and we're heading back now home from Monsig, and a couple of really brilliant days down there, and saw some fantastic countryside and fantastic sights. Unfortunately, we didn't stop for the sausage festival. We figured that was possibly not a good idea because of the state of the coronavirus at the moment, and we felt that it was a bit stupid just to go into an area that had lots of people in. So we've just stopped to stock up with a little bit of food, and we're heading back back home, and then I think we're going to do a little bit of work. We've got some work to do on the motorhome. Got a vent to put in the roof up there, which will have a fan in it to help moving the air about when it gets really hot down here. And we want to put in some USB sockets for charging stuff, and a bigger inverter, a couple of other bits and pieces like that. We just want to sort out and personalise it, make it our own. So we'll catch up with you again soon. Don't forget, if you like what you've seen, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon, and then you'll get a notification every time we put up videos. And yeah, if you've got friends who might be interested, share it as well. See you all next time.